Look at that. Tomato bean soup. Today we're making it. You better stick around. Hey there, chipmunks. Welcome to Cooking with Angry. That's me, Angry Chipmunk. And today we are making la zuppa di pomodoro e fagioli, otherwise known as a tomato bean soup. For our ingredients list today, we are going to start off with one smallish size onion, a couple of cloves of garlic. This was one rather large carrot. You can get away with a smaller carrot for sure. These pieces are actually quite small because we are going to blend this soup. So what I've done is just take your round, which was actually pretty decently sized, cut it 3 ways across, 3 ways across, and there you go. Little tiny little cubes. This is just going to sweeten up our soup when we make it. It's a natural sweetener for anything tomato based. You don't need to use sugar or any of that kind of nonsense. So we've got those to fry along with a small can of tomato paste. This is going to give us our nice color. We have got fagioli bianchi di Spagna, otherwise known as white butter beans. This is what they look like. There's a really big white bean. Any white bean will do. Any bean will do. White beans will give you the color you're looking for, but you know, any bean will actually do. We're going to be needing some stock. You can use vegetable stock or chicken stock, but I wouldn't use anything that's not sort of translucent, light colored, same color as the beans. To that, we are also adding, what is that? 120 grams of baby spinach. For our spices in this, we've got sale, pepe, basil, oregano, thyme, bay leaves. You don't actually need to add all of them or any of them really. I'm probably not going to go with the thyme and the bay leaves today. Probably just going to go with the basil and oregano. Sorry, I don't have any fresh. I don't use it frequently enough to keep the plants alive. Maybe we'll put a bay leaf in there because actually that sounds kind of good. So we are going to start by frying up this. I'm going to use a little bit of butter and a little bit of olive oil to do that because the mixture tastes better that way. This pan is on quite a low heat. Not low enough. That just makes things exciting, right? When you never know if you're gonna actually, whoops, burn some butter. This is a salted butter because that's what we have. But you can just use regular unsalted butter. That's way too hot. In go these. Just trying to soften these things up, turn the onion translucent, get the carrot to release its flavor, and after a second or two, I will add the tomato paste. Doing the tomato paste like this mellows it, especially with the carrot. Don't go too aggressive when scooping out your tomato paste because it will stain your clothes and ruin them. Or do something smart like wear a kitchen bib thing, apron. That's the one. This is just a small can, 140 grams. And today we're using 2 cans of those white beans. This is going to give us 4 serves of soup. If you want more serves of soup, use more ingredients. I'll rinse that out in a minute. But 8-ish minutes, 9-ish minutes, 10-ish minutes. That's all we're really looking for here. Oh no, that's too not hot enough, right? Turn that heat up a little bit. So we just let this fry for, 8 to 10 minutes until the onion turns a bit translucent. You can probably fry it until the onion is translucent and then add your tomato paste if you want to. But doing it this way I think helps because the carrot and the tomato paste go at the same time to make it sweeter. So we're just gonna leave that for a minute and be back to continue with the soup. Welcome back, chipmunks. So our tomato, onion, carrot base has been sizzling in the pan for, I don't know, I actually lost track of the time, so it doesn't really matter. It looks about right. It smells about right. To that, I will add, this is vegetable stock, powder form. I'm just going to add 2 cups of it to start. And I'm going to get a 1/3 cup of it. If you see recipes that call for more, then you need to use more beans. If you're just going to use the 2 cans, they were just regular sized cans, then you don't need 4 cups or more. So for 2 cans of beans, 3 cups is enough. I filled the tomato paste jar with water so we can get all of that goodness out of there. So don't add all of that last cup. Maybe only half. Looks good. Just incorporate that real quick. So this is going to be blended in the end when everything cooks together, which is going to make it very rich and creamy. It's not rich, it's actually quite light from that point of view, but it will be nice and thick and creamy. So too much water is just going to make it watery. To that, we have our 2 cans of white beans drained and rinsed. Now, don't add all of them, or you can add all of them, but I find it easier if you don't. Only add maybe like 75% of them. This is going to splash, I'm scared. To the broth mixture, because that was too many. We are going to blitz this with the immersion blender, and so you want some beans to put back in there when it's done simmering. So that was probably, this is how many is left. That's probably a bit light for the whole beans being left, but you know how it is when you just dump things out. So you can actually put all of them in. You'll just then have to take some out when you blend it. I think it's easier to do it this way. We'll add some salt, not too much because we did use salted butter. Some pepper. Bit of basil and oregano. More basil, I think. And a couple of bay leaves. Please remember to take your bay leaves out before you blend it if you add them in. I have no idea if this is true or not, but I always heard when I was a kid that they have serrated edges, and if you eat them, they will tear up your insides. I do not know if this is true, but I really don't want to find out. So we'll just put a couple of those in there. And remember to remove them when this is done simmering. Now, because these beans came from a can, they don't need to cook. If you're making this with fresh beans, you'll need to parboil them. So let them sit for a few hours in water so they get soft and mushy. But because these came from a can, we don't need to do that. So you don't actually even need to let this simmer for that long if you don't want to. But as with all soups, the longer you simmer it, the more the flavors come together. So 15 minutes at least. I mean, you really could just do it until it's warm, but let's give it at least 15 minutes so that all of these flavors can incorporate. And then we will blend it, add in our rest of our beans, and serve it. So we'll see you in 15 minutes.
A few sips later.
All right, our soup's been going for about 10-15 minutes now. It's kind of a heavy simmer, or a light boil, if you will. Whoa, that's hot, but smells so good. Don't stick your face in water vapor, it hurts. I'm gonna give this another, I don't know, 5-ish minutes or so, and then we'll start to the blending. In the meantime, I am going to enjoy some of tonight's drink, which is Irish whiskey and Pepsi. Let's get you some.
A few more sips later.
All right, chipmunks. This has been simmering for about 20 minutes. And by simmering, I mean aggressively simmering. I'm going to remove these gut shredders and just put them there. There was 2. So now we get to play the fun game of find the gut shredder. Oh, there it is. All right. To the immersion blender, which is literally just right here. Follow the instructions for your blender. So as you can see, the color has changed quite a bit. This is due to the beans being that white color. If you use a different, more dark bean, then you will of course get a different color soup. But if you want it to turn this color, then stick to a white bean, a Great Northern bean, a Lesser Southern bean, Cannellini bean, the Fagioli di Spagna, whatever you like. Also, hopefully as you can see, the beans are what is making this thicken. So you don't need to add any kind of thing like cream or milk or anything like that. The beans are going to thicken this quite nicely on their own. If you want to add it, you can add it, but you don't need to add it. The beans will do a perfect job of thickening up this soup, especially if you don't add too much stock. And also, blend it until it is your desired smoothness. We did save out some of those other beans so that they add a little bit of chunkiness, and I did end up taking a few more out of the soup because I didn't like the quantity that I had. But just blend it until you're happy with the texture and smoothness of the soup. Hi, MC. I'm happy with this thickness and smoothness, so that was a mistake. I'm going to call this one blended. Set that aside. Add back those reserve beans. Hopefully you saved out more than me because that looks pathetic. Usually I think I save about like almost a whole can, half to whole can worth. I just poured too quickly. Now, we are going to add our baby spinach. Did you forget about it? I hope not. We're going to add the whole thing. This one is washed and ready to eat, so we don't have to do any nonsense to that, like prepare it. And mix it in. Spinach wilts really quickly. We're not looking to cook this, just kind of wilt it. You don't really need to turn the heat back on if your soup is still really hot. I mean, I suppose you could if you wanted to, but it should just wilt down pretty all right with no heat. If it's not, turn it back on real low though, because all you're really trying to do is just soften it and wilt it. See, already it's getting kind of soft. Hoppa! There, little piece of carrot. That's just chewing texture, right? That's for the chewing. It smells so good. My recommendation for when you serve this one up, bread with butter, nice crunchy toast. You could put some croutons on top. You can add Parmesan cheese on top. I don't have any Parmesan cheese today, but any kind of cheese with a strong taste or whatever, it's pretty good. Maybe I'll just stick some sandwich cheese on top and be, you know, fancy soup bogan cheese. That's how you gotta do sometimes. All right, look at that. No heat, wilty spinach, blah. It tastes really good though, trust me. And it's good for you. All right, I'm gonna let that sit for 2 seconds with the lid on just so it wilts even a little bit more, and prepare some bowls. All right, chipmunks, hope you've been indulging in your dinner making drink because that is super important. And let's serve up this soup. As you can see, the spinach got nice and wilty. It's super thick. It smells amazing. A little bit more. Opa, too much. Too much. Maybe like 2 more beans. Too much. There you have it. That is about 1/4 of the soup serve that we made. That's going to net you about 25 grams of carbs, depending on how much carrot you use. I think will depend on how many carbs you get. 6.5 grams of protein or thereabouts. 1 gram of fat. And it's super filling, super healthy because it's got all that spinach in it. I'm going to top mine with a little bit of sandwich cheese because I don't have any Parmesan cheese. Look at that melt. So good. And here we have Camera Bro, who's got some nice crunchy toast with a little bit of garlic butter for the yums. And there you have it. Tomato bean soup. This is a really good one. It's super simple to make. It actually is really quick, especially if you don't simmer it for as long as I did. You don't actually have to. So, you know, if you've only got like 30 minutes in the evening to make a meal, this one is an excellent choice, and it's healthy and it's super filling, and I love it, and I hope you do too. So we're gonna go eat this, and we'll see you in the next one.